The next major delay I think everyone tends to use is the tape delay. There are lots of different types of tape delays out there, but the essence of it is that it's slightly less predictable, and the delay has a lot more texture to it than the clean sort of delays that we would expect out of a digital delay, such as the delay designer. So looking at the same file, let's just turn on a different bus and we'll go to the tape delay. So that is here, and you'll see similar sort of controls to what we saw just now: delay times, quarter note, things that can be in sync or not, a kind of swing factor. But now we can also see this thing about character, and we've got like tape head mode, clean and diffuse. We've got the ability to distort it very slightly and spread the kind of the clarity of it. So this kind of smears the clarity of the playback. You've also got modulation, which essentially adds a chorusing feature to the sound, and that's very reminiscent of older tape delays that you would find, such as the Roland 201 Space Echo, that was very famous in the early 80s and with a lot of reggae records. And you've also got flutter, which is the more unpredictable timing playback of tape across heads. So these all give you extra sort of textures to play into the actual sound. I'm going to turn back the feedback a little bit and we'll start playing around with this. Let's see what we can get out of it.
Look, always been quick to get my thump on. Light a fire, proceed to get my skunk on. Niggas be quick to hate because they need a dick to jump on. I'm in my zone, banging Marley all alone. My bitches hit me with ass, trying to get me out my home. And got a problem cause lately I try to overspin to block out all the bullshit I put no focus in. Call Bobby cause Philly spitting that dope again. I got my back against the ropes trying to rope them in. Like, oh my, I'm the coldest in charge. It's easy for them to hate when you be going this hard. It's funny, I tell them all you can meet me in hell itching and get you on the phone and start talking like Mel Gibson. Knock me out, I think that's rare in my sport. Use a gangster that's just trying to whip his hair back and forth. I think it's time for you to pick again. Trying to hit you with that knockout blow.
They trying to knock me out. My back's against the ropes and I ain't losing hope, no. Not going down for the count. You can give me all you've got, but I ain't gonna stop at all. You can throw your hooks, your jabs, it'll take more than that to knock me off my hustle. I ain't giving up, this belt's so easy. You'll be giving up before you see me knocked
Okay, I guess it's
out.
crunch time. The way I eat these beats, you probably think it's lunchtime. Soon as I spit, I bet you wonder why he's unsigned. The Holyfield of rap, see how I throw these punchlines? But while you biting like Tyson, I'm still holding the crown. Plus, I'm raping the game. That's why I'm still holding it. And you can't hold me back like your arm's gone. Get on the track like I'm Armstrong. Up with this new shit so I can keep my fans up. That's why I hold the belt like I'm trying to keep my pants up. Hands up, never drop your guard when I'm around.
Just to help you hear exactly what's going on here with the LFOs, I'm just going to mute out the raw sound, so we're only going to hear the delay now. And let's see if we can hear that chorusing a bit more clearly.
I'm the champ, you a rookie. Around. See me knocking down this game with these punches and these hooks. Taking like I hit you with some punches and some hooks. Yeah, you know I never
Thump on, light a fire, proceed to get my skunk on. Niggas be quick to hate because they need a dick to jump on. I'm in my zone, banging Marley all alone. My bitches hit me with ass, trying to get me out my home. And got a problem cause lately I try to overspin to block out all the bullshit I put no focus in. Call Bobby cause Philly spitting that dope again. I got my back against against the ropes, trying to rope them in. Like, oh my, I'm the coldest in charge. It's easy for them to hate when you be going this hard. It's funny, I tell them all you can meet me in hell itching. And get you on the phone and start talking like Mel Gibson. Nah, knock me out, I think that's rare in my sport. You's a gangster that's just trying to whip his hair back and forth. I think it's time for you to pick again. Trying to hit you with that knockout blow.
They tryna knock me out. My back's against the ropes and I ain't losing hope, no. Not going down for the count. You can give me all you got, but I ain't gonna stop at all. You can throw your hooks, your jabs, it'll take more than that.
You'll notice that it was when the chorus kicked in that you started to hear the chorusing much more strongly, and obviously that's to do with the fact that the notes are longer, so any long notes will reveal chorusing more than the short stabby kind of notes that are reminiscent of like most MCs. So the verse part, you couldn't really hear it as clearly, but as soon as singing took over, then it was much more obvious. So hopefully you could hear the kind of that chorusing feature. The flutter rate I would describe as a kind of catching kind of sound, like reminiscent of like mechanical problems with a tape deck, which seems to stop and start. So it's definitely useful to have that in there to make it sound slightly more unpredictable. And taking a bit off the top end and off the bottom end, that's a common procedure, just so that it's not too full and muddy in the mix. And the other thing is with the feedback, with tape delay, when the feedback gets folded back into the delay, it tends to overload, and that's part of the character. You get more distortion and less clarity in the repeated signal, and that's kind of what people like about it. It slots in a little bit more easily into your mix. So if you go beyond 50 on the feedback, it usually starts to feed back on itself.
To knock me off my hustle, I ain't giving up, this battle's so easy.
And you'll find, as you get beyond like 100%, it will basically start feeding back on its own. So you've got to be a little bit careful with that. So I would tend to only have it around between 50 and 60. That's a kind of normal amount. But it doesn't mean you can't automate it to push it over the edge during your mix. All of these controls can obviously be automated in the mix.